So I went to see Black Adam Friday night, and I have some thoughts about the movie, and I wanted to talk about it. I know we're doing all the horror content, but I just saw this, and it's a relevant topic, so I did want to take some time and discuss it in between different things I'm working on right now behind the scenes. So the movie Black Adam, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was engaging from start to finish. Every time The Rock was off screen, you're like, I need where's Black Adam? Where is he? So it was very cool. And I know we discussed a lot the race swap with Hawkman, and Aldous Hodge absolutely killed it as Hawkman in this. I had no issues with his performance. I thought he was spot on. The way he played off the Rock, the way he looked, the way he carried himself was very, very befitting of the part. So that was one right there that was a nod in the positive column. Again, in Dr. Fate, Pierce Brosnan, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Gave exactly the performance you would hope out of a Pierce Brosnan at this stage of his career and his age. It was great. I like the character. Like I said, I don't know a lot about most of these characters, and I was like, wow, this is okay. So he's not he's kind of Doctor Strange, but not. I mean, that's just the way I took it, looking from the outside in and not knowing much about the character. But his helmet contains its own universe. That is a story unto itself, right there. So knowing what he did and the powers he was using and showing during this movie, it was really cool. Atom Smasher and Cyclone. I like the visuals with Cyclone. The actress, her name eludes me. She was good in her role. And then you have Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, who to me, he looks kind of an act. It's like, and it's funny, even my son picked it out. He said he looks kind of like Deadpool and Ant-Man. And that's where I was at with it too, just because of the mask and the size thing. Didn't hate the character at all. I thought he had a few, in the few moments of comedy you got, just little one-off things. We're going to have a talk between Hawkman and Atom Smasher was funny. I liked that. So there was positives there. This movie was brutal. Don't let it fool you. This movie is very brutal, has a very high body count, and it's much at the hands of the Black Adam versus like the security force that is occupying Kondak. And speaking of Kondak, our good friend, Grace Randolph, had some choice things to say, and we'll take a look at those right now.
So yes, let's talk about Eternium. This is from the comics. Eternium is so stupid. Here, it's a pretty clear ripoff of vibranium, a natural resource that only Kondak has, a raw material that gives off here magical energy. I was like, shouldn't Kondak therefore be a magical country like Wakanda with science? Eternium. How come I've never heard of Eternium until now? Also, like Wakanda, turns out Kondak has its own hand gesture to show national pride. We are blatantly ripping off Black Panther.
Shut up, bitch!
Grace thinks that the triangle thing was, a rip-off from Black Panther and the Wakanda Forever, and the vibranium and Eternium were too close together in
Eternium is so stupid.
And what they did. And so she questioned that, and it's so funny. It's like and then she goes on to make this statement about The Rock and what he looked like when he was portraying, the scaled down version of Black Adam. And right here is what she said about that.
Speaking of ripping off other comic book movies.
What?
And then also, of course, using CGI to create a wimpy version of Dwayne Johnson.
And his head was still exactly the same.
It was like some weird Sid from Toy Story creation of Dwayne Johnson's muscular head.
I was like, look at Dwayne Johnson's head on that skinny body. That's so funny.
And I got to give credit to Tony, because we were talking about this, and you look at it, it's like, who's paying you, Grace? Like she was lauding how good the CG on Steve Rogers putting his head on that skinnier body looked compared to The Rock's head on the skinnier body. And the Steve Rogers one is way more disturbing. in the fact that the head is way too big for the body. It just looks incredibly disturbing. So, and The Rock's really wasn't that bad. And the fact that she said he had a muscular head.
Dwayne Johnson's muscular head.
It was just, it's so funny and nitpicky on the part of Grace Randolph, who claims to really love DC. And I know there's such a thing as tough love. There's also such a thing as knowing when you have a good product compared to a bad product, and it just depends on who's paying you to say what, doesn't it, Grace?
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
The fact that you're, touting this, and I say this as somebody who liked Captain America, the first Avenger. I like the Captain America trilogy. I think it's great. I think Chris Evans was wonderful in that role, but just that CG was not good if you're speaking comparatively. I'm not saying it was perfect, because there was a spot that I even noticed in the CG of the movie which was really bad, and it was The Rock. He was going sideways and kind of horizontally, and you just saw his face, and for one split second it looked like the Scorpion King. So there was that. I can't get a screen cap of it. Obviously, I won't be able to until I buy a copy of the movie. But there was that. All that aside, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. The Kondak stuff, I didn't mind it. The supporting characters, like you have the overweight brother, the stereotype, he's overweight goofball brother to the female character who summons Black Adam, frees him as it were, and then him, learning to work with the Justice Society. I thought all that was good. And then we get to, after everything's resolved, you have Amanda Waller in this too. And that kind of helps tie it in to the larger DC universe, which I think as long as they stay away from the Snyder stuff and don't lean into having the comedy, just find that nice middle ground, we'll be all right moving forward after they replace Ezra Miller with the Flash. Because the post-credit scene, we get the meeting between Black Adam and Superman is Henry Cavill, which we all were hoping for, and it delivered. Now, there's no guarantees moving forward with him outside of, I think, one more cameo in the Flash, but we can always hope that, they bring him back and go to a more actual Superman-esque character with him instead of the Zack Snyder version of the Man of Steel, and I say that as somebody who enjoyed that movie, not nearly as much as I enjoyed Black Adam, though. I would give this movie a solid, I would say, 7.5 out of 10. Honestly, it was good. It was entertaining. It was engaging. Kept you hooked the whole time. There was no lulls in the action that were, beyond the fact that you would, want to look at your phone or anything like that. To me, it was enjoyable. This is the best superhero movie to come out this year. This is far better than anything Marvel has released, either theatrically or on Disney Plus. This beats it. This is the best mainline continuity movie they've released in a while. So, I just hope they can keep that momentum going and grow the universe and, make it what it could be with the characters they have, especially now that they're cleaning house at Warner Brothers and DC. Hamad is gone. Like I said, I don't want to see any Snyderverse stuff, but I do want to see some of those actors that portray the characters come back, basically Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill and, Momoa and Gal Gadot, and then the rest can be recast. Although I do think Harry Lennox is a good Martian Manhunter. Let's take a look at the Black Adam opening box office weekend, shall we? I wanted to take a look at the box office for Black Adam before we got out of here and sent it home, because this had a good opening weekend, both domestic and internationally. If we look here, this got 140 million worldwide and 67 million domestic, 73 million international for a 52-47 split with, 47.9 domestic, 52.1 international. Not too bad, 140 million opening weekend for Black Adam. I think this movie, as long as it can stay above a 50% drop, around the 35, maybe 40% range, this will be a success for DC. And fingers crossed, and God willing, it has a good word of mouth, so people continue to turn out in the theater for this one, because, the Marvel machine has another one right around the corner. It's ready to puke out. But what did you think? Did you see Black Adam? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Like I said, I'm a 7.5 out of 10 on this one. Let me know what you thought of the post-credit scene with Henry Cavill in the comments below. I'm Tepo Kuin at the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all you. If I don't see you, have a great day, pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. I could do this all